lost my heart and hope to die. Welcome to my dark side.
We're about to get into it. And so this is going to be part 2 to Naruto. We're actually going into shippuden. If I'm saying that right, host, I might be mispronouncing it, shippuden.
No, shippuden, yeah, you got it right.
So this arc takes place, it's what? It's 2.5 years? Is it a 2.5 year time skip? I think it's two and a half years.
I know it's 2.
It's like at least 2
2
years.
or 3 years. Yeah, I think it's 2-3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the time skip. So let's kind of rewind a little bit to catch our wonderful viewers up on what may have been happening. So at this point in the game, Naruto left the village with Jiraiya, okay, just in case you haven't watched the series, okay. Sasuke left the village to go be with Orochimaru to get the power because he wants to kill Itachi. And Sakura went with Tsunade to train. So basically, the 3 characters the show revolved around in the beginning of Naruto all went to train under 3 of the legendary Sanin, some of the strongest people in the shinobi world at that moment in time. And so we're going to pick up 2 years later when Naruto comes back to the village. But like I said, we're going to jump around this a little bit because I got more questions, if anything, about it. So I'm actually going to hit Pooh Bear up first, actually, on this one. So you're saying, I want to hear your thoughts about shippuden. You know what I'm saying? Pooh Bear, like, what are your thoughts about
It's gonna be a short commentary because I barely remember. Only certain parts were great. You know, honest to God, I liked it better than Naruto. Naruto, when we were younger, it was all cool. You know, the whole bratty thing going on. You know, Sakura simping. Yes, female simp too, homie. Okay, and she's
Man, we about to be canceled already, man.
Hardcore simper or simpet, maybe sound better. Simpet, yeah. So when it carries on the shippuden, while bang bang, it was hot for me. Of course, there was a lot of filler episodes I really didn't care for. The thing that it was 2 parts that really stuck out with me for shippuden. Well, I guess it was a bunch of them. Of course, at the end, the big war, Naruto and Sasuke finally getting together, putting aside their stuff, battling the final enemy, the final boss. I did love the pain arc. I think we was talking about that a little bit last episode. The pain arc for me went hard. It was just the fact that it was this character. Like, he was so strong, bro. Wasn't he kind of like, was he paralyzed?
Well, so
he was semi-paralyzed, but go ahead, Dils.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is, so the reason he got messed up like that is because after he trained them, him and his partner formed the Akatsuki because their version of world peace was, that they could live in this happy-go-lucky world. Well, the problem with that is where their village was located, Hanzo, who actually whooped the 3 signing, was the one who resided over their village. So Akatsuki decided to go to war with Hanzo, and Hanzo jacked the pain up, or Nagito, or whatever, however you say it, Nagito. Before all that, so he jacked him up. That's why he messed his legs up and all that. So that's why he was jacked up. Go ahead and finish your point.
I must have missed all that part, but yeah. So he all limp, partially paralyzed. But he makes these puppets. Was it 9? 6 puppets. Okay, I was off about 3. But he's so strong that he gives each of these puppets their own individual powers, and he's moving them like they almost seem like they all had their own personalities, right? If I remember correctly. Like I said, I don't remember a whole lot, but that stuck out to me. That's just how bad he was. A little bit more context. Naruto Shippuden, like I said, picked up 2 years after the original Naruto. Naruto was off training with Jiraiya. I think everybody else became Genin except him, correct?
Became
Chunin.
Yeah, they became Chunin, yeah.
He was only but he had to train. But I think he became more powerful, even though he didn't have the title. He definitely had the strength. And that's kind of where it's taken off from in their journey. All his little crew, everybody developing their skills. I thought that was pretty cool. I did like the whole signing. The Sasuke, whatever big head Senpet's name is.
Sakura.
Yeah, I like that growth development. And to be honest with you, I hated her in Naruto. She was all right, come to the end. Like, she stopped crying, relying on people, and she became a force to be reckoned with. You know what I'm saying? So now that boy gave her that power. So she became less of a simpet. Still simpet. I love Naruto. Shit, yeah, it was pretty fun. Like I said, but I know you guys are going to get a little bit more deeper into it. 'Cause I know You know what I'm saying? Mine was just base level, so I'm gonna pass it off on to Mr. Conspiracy. Oh, hey, is that your bathrobe?
Oh snap! Here we go.
Man, we gotta get you a 10 for hat, homie.
A 10-4 hat. Okay, well, I'll work on that.
People want it. Ain't that right, people? Thumbs up if y'all want to see that, or just say, hey,
Yeah.
yeah, 10 for hat. We
We'll
go on,
count
sir.
the thumbs up and we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Just put a 1 in the chat. How about that? If you want
What if
to
you
get a
want to
10
see?
for hat, if you want to get some Mr. Conspiracy's crazy, we can get you your own 10 for a hat as well, so you can feel like you part of the show.
Yeah, and a robe too.
Yeah, we get you a robe and a 10 for a hat. You can fit perfectly with the show. You want to be like who you want to be like. They say who I want. I want to be Mr. Conspiracy. I want my 10 for a hat and my bathrobe on, so I can roll around here and say stuff.
Look, it says number 1.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So, Mr. Conspiracy, what's up? What was how was shippuden for you?
Shippuden had so many levels and layers to it, so you actually hit the nail on the coffin. About 2 or 3 year time skip. Honestly, the beginning of Shippuden was really slow, in my opinion, because when Naruto came back, people thought more that he was going to be a little bit better training with Jiraiya, like more seasoned, more when it comes to his fighting style, maybe his methods. He wouldn't be such an idiot, almost like a dummy, basically, right? And to be honest with you, I think he came back and he was actually worse than when he left, because at least when he was a little bit younger, he had that excuse of not having that life experience, and he was experiencing those battles and those villains for the very first time, and so he was actually getting to learn about how to control his chakra. He was actually getting to learn about being a Cherokee, and those type of situations. So he was learning those things, and you understood his growth and development because of that. And so you were on the, like that adventure, you were tagging along for that ride, and it was really interesting. So his sloppiness when it came to battles made sense, right? In Naruto, the first part. And the beginning of Shippuden no longer made sense. Spoiler alerts for the people who haven't actually seen it or actually seen most of it. We're about to spoil a whole bunch of that. Y'all there?
Yeah, we still here. What you talking about?
Okay. Y'all froze up on me a little bit. Okay. So for me, like, the whole situation went bad when they finally found Sasuke, when they went looking for him, right? When they finally got back, and him and Sakura teamed up with I think it was Sai, and the new leader of Team 7. I forgot that dude's name, but he uses the wood style. He used to be part of a Danzo squad. And so they found Orochimaru's hideout. They actually find Sasuke, and when he finds him, you realize the difference of the levels and abilities that they're on. Like, he immediately could have killed Naruto if he really had felt like it. It was just, their levels was just too far apart. And that's when you realize something was wrong after that time skip. That's when I realized that Shippuden had a lot to work up to if it was going to get a lot better at that moment.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Let me jump in. Let me ask you a quick question. So do you think for you, like, I always thought the reason Sasuke's abilities were so much further than Naruto's was simply because one was on a mission for revenge and didn't care what it took to get there. You know what I mean? Versus Naruto was more like, look, I'm trying to be strong, but it wasn't, I want to be Hokage, but you don't really like, I think the drive for revenge will push a person, to a far greater length than what Naruto was. I mean, he wanted to be Hokage, but was it at the cost of doing whatever it took? Sasuke was like, he threw everything away. He just completely committed to his training. At least that's my opinion, why I thought they were so much further apart. Because one's drive was like, and Orochimaru was like, yeah, go ahead, be obsessed so I can take your body. You go ahead like this and absorb everything so I can take over your body. Where Naruto was just like, I'm training to become Hokage, but never pushed, right? And I always thought that was the reason. What do you think, Mr. Conspiracy? You think that was the big reason?
No, I saw it a little bit differently. Everyone has their opinion when it comes to that type of situation. I saw it a little bit differently. I saw it to where it was a waste for him to go train with Jiraiya, because he was really just going on an adventure with Jiraiya being a spy. I thought that was a waste, and that was a waste of Naruto's time. Because if you kind of notice, when Naruto actually gets trained properly, then his level goes to another level. And the perfect example is when he gets trained, when he goes to the Frog Sage, right? When they train him seriously. And when he comes back, he's a whole different Naruto. Like, that's when people really started to love Naruto as far as being able to battle when his battle sense, his techniques, his abilities really took a step forward when he was trained seriously. It wasn't for revenge because, Pain hadn't attacked the village yet. He hadn't done anything yet as far as killing people yet, right? So for him, it was still just him becoming stronger, becoming Hokage, being able to protect the village. It was the same motivation. It was just that he was being trained seriously. That was the only difference. As far as Jiraiya really didn't train him seriously, Jiraiya really was just saying, hey, tag along so I can protect you for these next 2 years and I'll show you some things. He really didn't train him seriously. That's why I think he was kind of on a different level when him and, Sasuke finally met after 2 years.
Gotcha. I got you. Okay. All right. Well, I definitely can say I enjoyed Shippuden more than I did Naruto. To Pooh Bear's point, a part of the thing is it was a little bit more mature, minus Naruto being the idiot that he is. With that being said, but I did like they gave us a lot of character development, and that's what I liked about Shippuden. With the exception of Naruto, a lot of your characters, I like the slow build because it at least gave them time to explain a lot of backstory, why the fighting, and things like that. So, I think one of the coolest parts is when you really see, you really find out who the mastermind about everything that's really going on, like why the village was attacked, right? Because before that, you don't really know why the Nine Tails attacked the village. Just, was it a random event? You don't know if it was random. You start finding out about Madara's plans. You find out about the Akatsuki. You start finding out about all this stuff that, you see glimpses of it in Naruto, but you really don't find out what's really going on until Shippuden. So I like the series because of the growth the characters take. Now, to your point, Mr. Conspiracy, it does take a while for Naruto to finally kind of get a little bit more mature, a little bit more grown up, because in the first beginning, like you said, when they first go to Mizai, he's still this big ass kid, basically, in the very beginning. So it makes it kind of difficult versus Sakura and Sasuke have already kind of matured, and they're at different places in their life, I definitely like it for that reason. So, but we got to get into the more juicy part. We got to talk about these fights. We got to ask these questions. So I'm gonna hit you up, Pooh Bear, you might have some limited knowledge, but you do remember your favorite fights. So let me go ahead and hear what it was for you. What was the fight you was like, this is, and it don't have to just be one. I give you a couple fights where you was like, this is my stuff right here. This is where it's at. So what was your favorite fights?
This might not be popular for everybody. It just touched me. I just want y'all to know it did not long, but it just touched my heart. Okay. What's his wife's name? Jesus Christ! I see her face. Hinata. Yeah. Listen. Hinata is a thug, savage. I'm just gonna set the record straight. She a thug.
Okay.
Let's just go there right now. Man, listen, Mr. Kipsiri, I think you already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I do.
So, Naruto, they showed the whole her loving him. Simping again. She was simping. She drank the juice, the Naruto juice. She fell head over heels. She did. She drank the Naruto juice. She just in the cut, timid, loved that man, and he just whatever, oblivious. Trust me, I don't get there. I'm just giving some context. He oblivious to her. Everybody else could see it. She head over heels on this dude because he's sipping after Sakura. It's like a whole love triangle thing with them. It's really sad. But anyway, he's sipping after her. He got a girl sipping after him, and he just oblivious to everything. 2 years, they growing up, he's still head over heels to Sakura. I think he kind of getting it, like, she's, she don't like me. I think she like him. No, he was still simping.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me. So he's still simping, right? Until Pain came along. And he had stabbed Naruto because I think he was in Sage mode and he was going at it. He got the up on the man and he stabbed his hands on the ground. He couldn't move. He about to, he about to give Naruto his pink slip. Okay, for our younger generation, that means he about to get turned. He fired, about to get terminated. That's what pink slip is. Yeah, explain that. Okay. So, man, but I tell you what, nobody was trying to see this fool. They was like, this is too much. We can't do nothing. No, not Delicious. Not my girl. She said, son, over my dead body, you are not killing my man. Period. And I think she even confesses, like, I love him. Did she say that?
Yeah, she confessed.
She confessed. And finally, his eyes were starting to open up. I think they was doing flashbacks of all the stuff and his stuff. I think he just kind of finally hit home. And like she defended him. I mean, she ain't no threat to Kane whatsoever, but it doesn't matter, bro. It's a simple fact. She was like, she literally went over my dead body. You gonna kill my man? He ain't my man, but he in my mind, he my man. Thug life, for real. So Kane was just like, you know what? Screw this. Man, he hit her so hard, boy, you thought she died. Naruto finally caught a clue. Thank you. Man, I've been waiting for this for so long. So long he caught the clue. He just, and I was like, did you catch it? He told me a little too much because then my man flipped out and was about to kill everybody. But it was just at that point, man, just like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. It finally happened. I've been waiting for this for so long. He did it. My girl's a savage thing. And my man finally caught a clue. Even though he kind of lost a little bit, he got to murder everybody over that. That was my favorite scene. It might not the whole fight, but I know that it touched me. Not in the wrong way, but it got your boy. It touched me. So, and I want to say, fight for. Oh no, the other one, my boy got. Y'all 9 gates, baby. It was 9.
Yeah, 8.
Oh,
That's
dang it,
okay.
Spacey. I hate you. Yeah. No, I love you, baby. Keep me on my toes. 8 games. I was close to this time. I was one off. All right. Pretty man, somewhat. Man, my dude was like, yeah, no, man. Yeah, you gonna see me, homie. It was the 8 gate, the death gate. But man, he gave me that superpower. He turned red. Man, and then my boy, who was it? Lee Rock. And he
Lee.
started crying because he knew it was about to happen. He was like, oh my God. My dude went in. Oh my God! Did he almost kill him?
Yeah, he almost killed him. Yeah.
He released Night Guy. That's when Night Guy
Yeah.
came out. That's what it's called, Night Guy. When he released
Yeah.
that game, Night Guy. Yeah.
When he did that, man, I don't know, man. I choked up again. It touched me again. I was like, that's my dude. He was like, I ain't got all this and all that, but you gonna see me. I ain't no pushover. He showed his true colors. I was so proud, bro. I was so proud. But I was sad because my man lost his legs. He lost legs.
Hey,
You know
that's
what
the
I'm saying?
price you pay
No,
for all that power.
love y'all. But yeah, bro, that was a great one for me. Oh, man, I tell you another time they touched me right here. My boy Neji. They killed
Oh,
Neji, dog.
spoiler alert! Just in case you didn't know.
He said it's gonna be a lot of spoilers, so I
See,
already
you
said
Right.
that.
you did by now. Shame on you. Slap yourself. Just like that. Slap. My boy Neji went down. Who did he fight?
No,
Neji,
Neji didn't
he died.
fight. Neji
He
was
fought in the
just in the
fourth
water
Shinobi
fighting
War.
against
Yeah,
those. That's all that was fighting against
he just
those. What is that? The white Zetsus
them
and
plants. Yeah, the white.
the
Yeah, he just
plants.
died fighting them. Yeah, he died
Yeah.
fighting the plants.
Well, he
Man,
died saving Naruto is what happened. He
yeah,
actually threw his life away.
Yeah.
man, killed Neji. I knew they did that on purpose because they knew that was gonna get to everybody, but I don't know if I like that.
That was a stupid choice, my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing I did not like. No, everybody to kill, y'all kill Neji.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Well,
just a dumb pick for somebody to die because that dude played no significant role in the Shippuden anime part of Naruto. Like he wasn't even important.
hey,
Yeah,
look, the character.
yeah,
Like, look, they could have kept him on, but they decided to use him in the wrong way. So I
Yeah.
mean, it
they did.
happens. They used him in the wrong way. So with that said, Christopher Robbins dropped his picks. What's it for you, Mr. Conspiracy? I know you got some
Yeah,
amazing fights you want to talk about because
Uh,
I got some amazing
get
ones
it.
I want to talk about. So
I'm
it was
ready.
quite a bit.
oh man,
It's more about
there's quite a bit. Pain in Naruto, everyone loves that one, so I'm not even going to even bring that up. Not even going, even talk about that one. There's actually quite a few that I really do like. I know, Rich, I already know which one you gonna pick, DLC. But let's see, man. I had one in mind, to be honest with you. I did like the Madara versus my guy. Like it was up there. A lot of them really touched home. Like as far as like some of the ones in the fourth grade Ninja War really wasn't like true fights and battles. It was more of like moments instead of like an all out battle. But the one thing that I enjoyed probably a lot from the fourth grade Ninja War is when the 5K went up against Madara and they thought they
Oh
could
yeah,
see him.
wasn't even in
And
the
when they
same league.
Oh
he
yeah,
wasn't in the same league now. Like
yeah,
when he basically showed them, okay, so y'all 5-on-1, and then A, who's the I think he's the Razekage, and
Yeah,
so it was like, well, hey, this is just an atonement of how strong you are, right? Like we just showing you, like our respect of
yeah.
how strong you are. He said, okay, cool then. So then he made 4 more clones. No, He made 15 clones, wasn't it? Yeah. He made 15
like
clones.
15 to 20 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, "This ain't unfair. This is me showing y'all respect now." And then he said, "So, I got a question for y'all. Do y'all want to fight these clones with Susanoo or without Susanoo?" And he was like, "Well, since y'all didn't pick, I'm gonna let y'all fight them with Susanoo." So they was making all these clones that was using just like a little small version of a Susanoo, right?
And Mr. Conspiracy, I got to jump in for 1 second, dude. My favorite part of that fight, just for a second, my favorite part of that fight when Tsunade, she thought she was hard. He was like, "You're nothing compared to your grandfather. You're nothing. Your power is nothing compared." He didn't need to do signs and all of that stuff. He was like, "You're nothing compared to Hiroshima." You know what I'm saying? "You're nothing compared to your grandma." Dude, I about fell out laughing. He's like, "You're trash compared to him. Like, you got his bloodline, you're garbage." Like, go ahead, man. That's hilarious.
So, like, they jumping all the way around like the battlefield, right? So they cut back to the 5Ks fighting all of these clones of Madara. And you notice that all of the Ks are having a hard time, but they trying to really go at it. So Inoki, he is the Keg of the Stone Village. I think he's around like 80, 90 years old at this time. He actually fought Madara back in his prime, then rallies the troops, and he uses his Gekkei Genkai ability, which is basically like a laser that obliterates anything. It's a light that obliterates anything. So he starts obliterating a whole bunch of the clones, and he really leads them to what they think is victory. So Madara was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. So it's time to actually go ahead and fight seriously." So Noki is like, "Oh no, man, we gonna win." He gives like this, amazing speech. Everyone's morale is all boosted up, and Madara's like, "Oh, okay." And then all of a sudden, you just see this huge shadow start growing over the battlefield. It's this huge Susanoo that keeps growing and growing, and all of a sudden, it's bigger than the other ones that the clones were using, and this looks a little differently. And it's giving off this aura and this power that is just like, all the Ks are like, "This is impossible. Like, how can he emit so much chakra energy?" And Madara looked at them and said, "No." He gripped his fist and said, "Calm down. It's not complete yet." And then he completed the perfect Susanoo, and when they saw the final form, even Inoki had to been like, he was sweating. He was like, "What?" And when he released, the Susanoo released the sword, dude, and destroyed 3 mountains. Like, them mountains had to be like 5 yards or so, bro.
Mr. Conspiracy, you missing the part. You missing the one part
Hold
before
on,
that.
man. Hold on, man. Hold on. So when that happened, right, Inoki was like, he looked back at Madara and was like, "So back then, why didn't you come with us for real?" Like, and Madara looked at him and was like, "What adult goes full force when fighting children?"
Jesus Christ.
And the look on his face was like,
Hey, Conspiracy. The other line that's in there was when they was like, "There's no way the first Hokage fought against you. That's not even human." And one. It was like, "We ain't even human." He was like, they were just blown. Because that came first, and then that line you said came. And then they found out the real, and that was crazy. And it was like, man, you not even,
bro.
Yeah, it was like, because then you have to start thinking, oh my God, the first Hokage was God. These are gods fighting. These aren't mortals. These are some gods fighting each other. Like,
there was another saying he said. He was like, my brother was like, y'all should have had somebody who could revive the first Hokage. That's the only one who could ever beat me. And then he said, "No, actually, it's a good thing he's not here." And the rest of them looked at him like, "Hold on, what do you mean?" The Kings looked at him like, "Are you crazy?" He said, "Because with just me here, the maps only have to be redrawn a little bit." Like, hold on.
He said they was going to
They about to reshape oceans.
We're gonna reshape the planet if we fight again. Hey, you remember the first time they fought that valley? They put them statues there after that fight because they blew the whole thing up. Fighting each other for however many days it was. Because they fought for days. It wasn't like hours. They fought for days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's move. What else you got? Conspiracy is in my turn. Because I
don't know, man. I got one more. I got one more. So another one, which is actually pretty interesting to me, and I don't think people really understand this one, is is when Obito no longer. This is before he actually became the Ten Tails, and he was actually fighting Kakashi inside and outside of that dimension. When it was just him and Kakashi going at
That
it.
was a hot.
And
That was a hot fight.
and what that showed me was like true ninjutsu ability and battle. Like, forget the whole chakra, forget the I'm a Jinchuriki, forget the, like the genjutsu, all that stuff. We just gonna actually go at it hand to hand melee, and I'm gonna try. And like the way they were using, dude, their
The
shurikens
flashbacks. I love
was
the flashback in
amazing.
the fight.
And the
Flashback in the
flashbacks that
fight.
they had as kids mashing up with them as adults, but just a little bit more violent, I thought that was phenomenal because they showed when they like had like their little battle when as children part of the same team, when it was more like a dual initiation or whatever, and then they basically mimicked it as they were adults, but then you saw them actually trying to kill each other at that point. It was that right there was a true battle of ninjutsu in my opinion, and I really loved that fight. I think it gets overlooked a lot.
It shouldn't. But that fight, that's one of the few fights that they have redone as a live action. If you've ever seen the live action versions of that fight, that is one of the few Naruto fights they did a live action of. And one of the YouTubers who did it was a perfect match for the cartoon. So yeah, that is probably that's probably one of the greatest fights of Naruto Shippuden. Okay, conspiracy. Them some hot fights, man. I can't even lie to you, man. Like you said, there's so many fights in there in Shippuden. My fight is Itachi and Sasuke. Because that right there, when Sasuke gets there, and at first they talking, and it's just a battle of genjutsu. You know what I'm saying? At first it's just a battle of genjutsu. Because Itachi, there's no emotion on his face or whatever. He's looking, even when Sasuke has him on the ground and then he points over there, he's still sitting on the throne and the crows come out and then he stabs him and then he stabs Itachi and he's like, my eyes can see more than you think. And Itachi's like, no, not yet. They still can't really see, and then the genjutsu, and the genjutsu battle is over and they get into a real fight. And the fight is going well, and then it's like, oh man, and Sasuke do his move and you think it's over with and everything. And then Itachi like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? And everything is headed towards, he keeps pointing to the eye. They had a big old fight. And then Orochimaru comes out because Itachi uses that forbidden jutsu, that sword he has, that for that eternal slumber.
Yep.
And he slices Sasuke to get rid of Orochimaru. And then at the very end, Sasuke think he dead, and then Itachi touches his eye like he did when he was a kid because he thought he wanted his eye, and then he passes away. And then you find out the real truth. It was like your brother could have killed you at any point in time he wanted to. He's like everything he did was to make sure that you were so powerful that you could be the Avenger you wanted to be. He set up, he made himself the villain so that you wouldn't feel bad for what had to be done because he knew he needed to die for what he done, even though it was on order. He got like one of the most, like if you want to talk about a hero that nobody want to give props to, Itachi, and I'm going to make sure you get my eyes too, so you can get your Mangekyou Tiger. He made sure because Sasuke was losing his vision. So he set everything up. That whole fight, everything was set up to, for one thing, save his brother because he knew Orochimaru had him. He knew what he was doing. He saved his brother. He made sure his brother believed that, he was the hero he needed to be. It wasn't until he started talking to Obito and Obito told him the truth about his brother, because Itachi never wanted that. So that fight to me was just to me as powerful as the fight between Pain and what's her name? Hinata or whatever her was, because for the emotion, right? Because when you find out what's really going on, you think he trying to take his eye, but he really like, I love you. I just can't say it out loud. That's all he had, man. His brother was all he cared about in that village. It was so crazy because the setup for the right was everybody thought up to that point this dude was terrible. So he's just this villain, and you come to find out he's actually the hero of the story that nobody even knew about. And so that's why, like I said, that was one of my favorite fights. Now another fight, now we can't skip over Shikamaru and the dude who couldn't die and what he did to him after he killed his mentor. Now I know there was a bunch of different fights going on, I understand that, but the only thing about it was the reason why I like the fight, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, the only reason why I like it is the tactics. Because his brain, he outsmarted. That's all it boiled down to. After the first fight they had with that group, he outsmarted him. And I loved it because he's like, you can't kill me. He was like, well, my family runs this force. They're never going to find you. Nobody's coming for you. Nobody knows you're here. And he blew him up into a minute. It was like some of the coldest stuff, because after he killed his mentor, like there's so many great fights in Shippuden. Like I get crunk just thinking, like make me want to go rewatch the stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then we can't forget about the shindig at the very end with Naruto and Sasuke reliving the first fight they had at the very end. I mean, there's so many. Like man, we could go all the whole time about like Shippuden because of the storytelling, the great fights. Like man, we could be all over this place, man. I mean, like seriously, that's hot. But I think it's time for something different.